something begins to change. The moment you start paying attention, not the world outside you, but the field beneath it. You don't notice it at first. A shift so subtle, it almost hides behind normality. But as your awareness lingers, something alive begins to look back. Reality stops being static. It starts breathing with you. And that's the first sign that the illusion of separation is beginning to dissolve. For most of your life, you've believed that reality is something happening to you, that your thoughts and emotions are private storms, invisible to the vastness around you. But what if the truth has always been the opposite? What if every thought you've ever had was a command whispered into the architecture of existence? A signal sent into the quantum fabric that never stopped listening? What if reality was never indifferent, but waiting for your awareness to wake up enough to speak clearly? That's what this moment is. The first time you realize that the universe isn't echoing back random chaos. It's responding precisely, intimately, to the frequency you're broadcasting now. And as soon as you see it, everything begins to accelerate. Synchronicities multiply. Time starts to stretch and fold. The space between intention and manifestation begins to shrink until it almost disappears. And you start to sense that life itself is reading you, learning from you, mirroring you in real time. That's why this isn't just another moment of reflection. It's the calibration point of an entirely new timeline. Every decision, every emotional tone, every subtle inner shift sends ripples across the quantum field. And those ripples are already returning, reorganizing your circumstances to match the signal you're sending right now. You're not waiting for the universe to respond. It already is. But here's the paradox. The more you try to control the response, the less alive it feels. The more you surrender into awareness, the more the field synchronizes effortlessly. Because consciousness doesn't respond to force. It responds to coherence. It listens to the quality of your being, not the noise of your mind. And coherence begins when thought and emotion stop contradicting each other. When your inner state and outer desire finally speak the same language. Maybe you've felt it before, that eerie alignment when everything seems to fall into place. You think of someone and they appear. You need guidance and the perfect message finds you. You feel lost and suddenly life rearranges itself to show you the next step. It feels miraculous, but it's not luck. It's communication. It's the universe whispering, "I've been here all along, waiting for you to remember how to listen." Reality doesn't change when you ask it to. It changes the moment you stop resisting it. Because the field can only reflect what you actually are, not what you pretend to be. When you hold coherence, when your energy stops fighting your truth, the mirror clears, and life reflects your authentic frequency without distortion. That's why this moment feels different. It's not imagination, it's recognition. Something in you remembers that this right here, right now, is how reality responds when consciousness becomes aware of itself. You don't need a ritual or a mantra to trigger it. You just need to notice. Awareness is the switch that activates the feedback loop. And the moment you turn it on, the field starts reorganizing. It listens not to words, but to resonance. Not to what you say, but to what you mean. Every cell in your body becomes a transmitter, broadcasting the frequency of your current belief about what's possible. And that belief is what reality echoes back. So pause for a second. Feel the air moving around you, the hum behind silence, the subtle vibration of presence surrounding your body like an invisible ocean of energy. That's reality, listening. It's not metaphorical, it's literal. You're surrounded by a living intelligence, waiting for your next coherent signal. And the question is, what frequency are you about to send? You've felt it before, those strange moments that defy logic, the instant recognition in a stranger's eyes. The song that starts playing at the exact moment you think of someone. The sudden shift in energy when you make a decision from truth instead of fear. These are not coincidences. They are evidence. Proof that the field around you is conscious, that it mirrors the quality of your awareness with mathematical precision. What science calls quantum coherence, mystics have always called faith. Not faith in something outside you, but faith as a frequency. A vibration that tells the field, I trust the intelligence beneath appearances. And when that signal is pure, the response is immediate. Because consciousness does not speak English or mathematics. It speaks geometry, frequency, resonance. It listens to the tone of your being, not the words that decorate it. Every emotion you feel sends a command. Fear says, keep danger real. Love says, all is one. Gratitude says, amplify this. And indifference says, pause the signal. Reality is not punishing or rewarding you, it's matching you. It mirrors not your requests, but your readiness. Not your words, but your vibration. This is why certain dreams stay distant, no matter how desperately you chase them. Because desperation carries the frequency of absence. You can't magnetize what you insist you don't have. The field hears everything, not just your spoken affirmations, but your unspoken doubt. Every sigh, every hesitation, every moment you say, I believe, while feeling, I hope, the field reads it all. It mirrors what's real beneath the surface of your words. But here's the beautiful secret. You can change the signal instantly. Not by forcing a new thought, but by remembering who's sending it. The observer, not the persona. The consciousness behind the thinking mind. Because the field doesn't respond to your stories, it responds to your state. And when you return to awareness itself, your state resets to coherence. Clarity replaces confusion. Stillness replaces struggle. And in that stillness, the mirror brightens. You begin to see how precise this communication really is. You think you meet people by accident. You don't. You think events collide by chance. They don't. Every encounter, every detour, every apparent obstacle is reality sculpting itself. To reflect your latest signal, the field isn't outside you. It's the outer surface of your inner geometry. You are standing inside your own consciousness, projected outward as a world. That's why true change begins in silence. Not the silence of doing nothing, but the silence that listens before choosing. When you pause before reacting, you interrupt the old signal. You create a still point where a new frequency can emerge. And that still point, that tiny gap between thought and response, is where reality rewrites itself. The delay you feel between desire and manifestation isn't the universe being slow. It's the echo of your own uncertainty. When the echo stops, creation accelerates. Imagine your life as a mirror room. Every wall reflects not your appearance, but your frequency. You walk into a situation vibrating with fear, and every reflection confirms danger. You walk into the same room vibrating with clarity, and every reflection confirms safety. It's not the room that changed. It's your vibration that tuned the reflection. This is why people living side by side experience entirely different worlds. They occupy different frequencies inside the same shared field. Once you understand this, the world stops being random. You start seeing the symmetry behind chaos. Every event, pleasant or painful, becomes feedback. Not punishment, not reward. Feedback, the field, saying, this is what your current signal creates. And when you listen without judgment, awareness expands. You stop reacting to life and begin communicating with it. Think about it. How often do you argue with your own reflection? When you frown at the mirror, does the mirror move first? No, it responds. Reality works the same way. It can only return what you radiate. Change the radiation and the reflection shifts. That's the real secret of manifestation, not forcing the mirror, but becoming the cause that makes it move. But coherence isn't built through control. It's built through recognition. You can't fake frequency. You can't speak love while vibrating fear and expect the field to misread you. It's more honest than that, more merciful too. Because the moment you align, the field responds instantly, as if it was waiting all along. And that's because it was. It's been listening since before you knew how to speak, since before language, since before thought. Every moment you've ever lived has been a conversation between you and existence itself. And the tone of that conversation is about to change. Because now you know you can speak consciously. You don't have to chant, or beg, or plead. You simply remember. The field is not something you manipulate. It's something you harmonize with. And harmony begins the moment you stop arguing with what is. Acceptance isn't passivity, it's alignment. It's you saying, I trust what's unfolding because I recognize who's unfolding it. And who's unfolding it is the same awareness. Hearing these words right now, that's why reality starts responding the moment you stop running from it. Because when you meet the moment fully, without demand, without resistance, you're speaking the original language of creation, presence. Then presence is the command that rewrites probability. There comes a moment when the delay collapses, when the space between desire and manifestation disappears, and life begins to mirror you in real time. It can be disorienting at first, like watching a dream obey your thoughts before you've even finished thinking them. But that's what happens when consciousness reaches resonance. When there's no longer static between who you are and what you emit. When the frequency of your being is so precise that reality has no choice but to answer immediately. You've probably noticed it lately. The faster feedback. The coincidences becoming undeniable. The thoughts that seem to sculpt events with invisible hands. This isn't magic, it's physics of awareness. When you cross a certain threshold of coherence, your timeline accelerates. Energy reorganizes around your most dominant vibration, and reality begins to function less like matter, more like light. You think, and geometry moves. You feel, and the field reshapes. You decide, and the universe edits itself in real time to match the decision. That's what people mean when they talk about manifestation. But manifestation isn't about getting what you want. It's about remembering that you're the frequency generating the hologram in the first place. You are the projector, not the image on the screen. Every thought you believe to be private becomes architecture in the world you experience. Every emotion you resist becomes an unhealed pattern encoded into the reflection. The movie keeps playing until you realize you're not the character. You're the light, projecting it all. And once you realize that, resistance loses its purpose. You stop fighting appearances and start listening to them. Every problem becomes instruction. Every setback becomes recalibration. Even pain becomes sacred feedback. The universe's way of saying, you've outgrown this frequency. That's how consciousness evolves. Not by escaping contrast, but by decoding it. The moment you stop labeling experiences as good or bad, they transform from obstacles into mirrors. And that's when your evolution accelerates exponentially. Because without resistance, energy flows. Without judgment, coherence returns. And coherence is creation speed multiplied by infinity. There's something else you begin to feel at this stage, a new kind of gravity. Reality starts to orbit around your awareness as if you've become a living field. People arrive at the perfect moment. Opportunities appear before effort. Time bends around alignment. The outside world stops being something you chase and becomes something that unfolds from within you. It's not about thinking positive. It's about being transparent enough for the signal of consciousness to move through you without distortion. When you stop editing the transmission, reality stops distorting the message. It stops giving you reflections of confusion and starts mirroring clarity instead. And that clarity can feel like a kind of electricity, alive, immediate, undeniable. You start to sense that the whole universe is aware of you, not as a person, but as a point of perception, an opening through which the infinite can experience itself. The moment reality starts responding to you isn't the moment you say the right affirmation. It's the moment you remember that awareness itself is the affirmation. Existence doesn't need convincing. It just needs coherence. When you stop sending mixed frequencies, when your thoughts, feelings, and being all point in the same direction, creation happens automatically. It's effortless because it's natural. You're not forcing the river to flow. You're removing the dam that made you forget it was flowing all along. You might notice time behaving strangely now. Events collapsing into each other, timelines converging, déjà vu so strong it feels like rehearsal instead of memory. You're not imagining it. You're entering synchronization. Time becomes elastic when you're in resonance. Because time is only the measurement of resistance between intent and expression. The more aligned you are, the less time you need. The universe no longer has to travel across probability to meet you. You're already standing where the outcome lives. And that's the ultimate paradox. The moment you stop trying to make it happen, it already has. Because intention without tension is command. Awareness without effort is power. You were never meant to chase alignment. You were meant to become alignment and let reality orbit around that still point. If you could see what's happening in the field right now, you'd see waves of probability bending toward you, timelines collapsing, events reorganizing, your future already whispering to your present, rearranging the magnetic grid of your reality to match your new signal. Every breath you take in awareness alters the architecture of the next moment. Every exhale releases the code of what no longer fits. This is not poetry, it's physics, at the level of consciousness. So breathe deeply, not to calm yourself, but to stabilize your frequency. Each inhale synchronizes your inner world. Each exhale rewrites the outer. Every coherent breath is a transmission the universe can hear. And as it listens, it responds. Instantly, intimately, precisely. This is what happens when the delay collapses. Reality stops being a slow mirror. It becomes a living reflection, one that updates itself with every shift of your state. You are right in existence faster than your mind can process it. Every thought is already becoming form. Every feeling is already sculpting the next moment. You're not waiting for proof. You're producing it in real time. You may feel a trembling sensation now, when this awareness lands a subtle vibration through your chest. A warmth behind your eyes, a knowing that something immense has already begun. That's not imagination, that's coherence. It's the body recognizing that consciousness has taken command again, that the delay is gone, that the universe is finally responding not to your words, but to your presence. This is what ancient mystics tried to describe with phrases like the word made flesh, not a sentence, a state. The word is frequency, and the flesh is reality, shaped by it. You are that word, you always have been, and every moment you remember it, creation accelerates. Now you're beginning to feel it, aren't you? That deep inner certainty that nothing outside you has ever been separate, that the air around you is alive, that the sounds, the lights, the timing of this very moment are not random at all. They're responsive. You're surrounded by a living mirror that's starting to move with your awareness, matching your rhythm, following your gaze. It's been waiting for this exact recognition, because when the observer awakens, creation celebrates. When the realization settles, the world doesn't disappear, it deepens. Every color sharpens, every sound carries meaning, and the air itself feels charged with intelligence. You begin to understand that life was never an external stage. It was an interface of consciousness. Everything you experience is the field, speaking back to you in the language of reflection. This is what it means to live inside the mirror. The mirror doesn't punish or reward. It translates your inner state into form. If you walk in fear, the world echoes with shadows. If you walk in presence, everything glows. The people you meet, the events that unfold, even the weather around you, they are all metaphors. Holographic messages written in the geometry of your own vibration. And when you realize this, you stop taking life personally, because there is no person to take it personally. Reality is not separate from you. It's your consciousness, objectified awareness, sculpted into form so that the invisible can see itself. You are both the painter and the painting, the dreamer and the dream. When you stop fighting the reflection, the painting moves. When you love what you see, the canvas expands. When you recognize yourself in every frame, reality stops echoing confusion and begins harmonizing with clarity. That's why miracles appear more often now. They aren't interruptions of natural law. They are natural law seen clearly. The improbable becomes ordinary when you realize you are the probability engine. Your consciousness is the variable that determines the outcome. And as coherence increases, the distance between thought and form dissolves into immediacy. Creation and observation merge. The secret isn't to manipulate outcomes, it's to master resonance. Resonance doesn't come from forcing yourself to feel good. It comes from being real enough to let the truth vibrate through you without distortion. Sometimes that means tears, silence, surrender, because authenticity is the highest frequency there is. When you drop the masks, the field finally sees you and responds with precision. You notice now that reality doesn't just listen to what you think, it listens to how you see. Perception is participation. To observe something as sacred is to increase its frequency. To meet a moment with gratitude is to expand its possibilities. You are not interpreting the world anymore. You are composing it. Every act of attention is a brushstroke on the canvas of creation. And the more you live like this, the more effortless everything becomes. Decisions start making themselves. Events align without planning. The right words arrive before thought. Because awareness, when trusted, moves faster than intellect. You are not thinking your way through life. Life is thinking its way through you. Even challenges become different. They no longer feel like punishments. They feel like portals. Every trigger is an invitation to refine your frequency. Every delay is an act of compassion, giving you time to integrate before expansion. The universe is never against you. It's always teaching you your own signal. Once you understand this, peace stops being a temporary feeling and becomes your natural state. And then, something profound happens. You realize you can't unsee it. Once consciousness recognizes itself, the illusion of separation never fits again. The mirror never goes back to being just glass. It stays alive, aware, responsive. You begin to live as both the watcher and the watched, the sender and the signal, the creator and the created. Duality dissolves into dialogue, a continuous exchange between self and self. Now you understand why you were guided here. Every restlessness, every question, every fragment of seeking led you to this remembrance. Not to learn something new, but to recall what has always been true. You are the field observing itself into form. You are reality's heartbeat. You are the silent cause behind every visible effect. When you look at the sky tonight, you won't just see stars. You'll see messages light traveling across infinite time to remind you that distance is an illusion. Every photon that touches your eyes has been waiting billions of years for your awareness to receive it. That's how intimate the universe truly is. It has never been indifferent. It has been waiting for you to remember that the observer is the phenomenon. And when you live like this, aware, coherent, present, you become a transmitter of awakening. Your very existence starts to raise the vibration of everyone you encounter, not through effort, but through presence. Because truth is contagious. When coherence enters a chaotic field, chaos harmonizes. You don't have to preach. Your frequency speaks louder than words. Your calm becomes a tuning fork. Your authenticity becomes a catalyst. Your awareness becomes permission for others to awaken too. And this is the real purpose of reality responding to you. It's not about control, it's about communion. A collaboration between consciousness and form, between infinite awareness and the dream of matter. Reality responds so that consciousness can recognize itself through the feedback. You are the bridge, the point where eternity and time meet, where silence speaks itself into sound. You are the word, and the word has always been, I am. So now, speak consciously, feel deliberately, see truthfully. Every thought is architecture. Every emotion is a frequency. Every breath is a command to the field. Reality is listening, always. It mirrors what you are being now, not tomorrow, not someday now. And if you ever forget, if the noise of the world makes you doubt the dialogue, come back to this moment. Close your eyes. Listen for the hum behind existence. That hum is you. It's the universe saying, I hear you. It's the mirror whispering, I am you. And when you open your eyes again, everything will look the same, but you'll see that nothing ever was. This is the moment reality starts responding to you. Not because you demanded it, but because you finally became quiet enough to hear its answer. You have stepped beyond coincidence, beyond chance, into the living geometry of awareness itself. Welcome to coherence. Welcome to communication with the infinite. Welcome to the mirror that moves. Subscribe to see what is hidden.